Well, today I was doing a presentation which is really just trying to get across the fact that we've come to the end of a €1.3 billion investment programme at Dublin Airport. So over the last 4 or 5 years we've been radically improving the passenger experience at Dublin Airport, and I wanted to share some of the learnings and some of the experiences we got out of that, because it was a very significant project delivered in a very short time frame and in the middle of an operational airport. So it was very useful to get that across today and to get some feedback from the other delegates.
Sounds like a very basic thing, but it is so important about the passenger experience. What was your model in terms for ensuring, as that you developed the terminal, that you got that right?
Well, I mean, the key to all of this, as I was saying this morning, was that you've got to engage with the key stakeholders, and you've got to consult, and you've got to communicate. And what we were doing at the very, very early stages of this is we sat down with the airlines, we talked to them about their business plans, we talked to them about the type of facilities they wanted, and then more importantly, I think, we sat down with the passengers themselves. Because very often there's this debate that goes on between airports and airlines: who owns the passenger? Well, no one owns the passenger owns the passenger. But you know, they touch on the airport so intimately, and their experience with the airport is so important. We wanted to focus completely on what the passenger needed. So we sat down, we talked to them, we took heed of what they wanted, and then we got our designers in to design the buildings that we've put together over the last 4 to 5 years.
You said about what was key, communication, but also what's fundamental to that is actually listening, not just talking to them.
Yeah, you can't be in broadcast mode all the time. You've got to listen. You've actually got to listen. And you know, it takes a bit of patience, because passengers are not used to being asked. You know, they're used to being dictated to. And look, we're all human, and so many of us go through airports, and you know, we find that the experience can be very stressful, and it's not the type of thing we want to repeat. So as airport operators and managers around the world, we don't want that to be the case. We want our passengers, we want our airlines, we want all the people we interact with to enjoy using our facilities. So we sit down, we listen to them, we feed back, we get some more from them, and then we hopefully execute and do it well.
And it's not to be frightened of what they're going to say, I guess. Did you have to react to some of the feedback that maybe surprised you?
Yeah, I mean, look, at the very, very beginning of this process, we had some real issues. I mean, the facilities we had in Dublin in particular were completely overrun. They were designed in the late 60s, delivered in the early 70s, and by the middle of the 2000s, we were in a situation where we had a facility which was designed for 12 million passengers, handling 24 million passengers. So clearly, it wasn't a good experience. So there was that on one side, and then on the other side, the more proactive side was the frequent travellers. What do they need today? What are they doing today? And what are airlines doing today? So we redesigned our check-in facilities. We made the building modular. It's more flexible. We can adjust the building both for a reduction in passenger numbers, and we can build onto it in the future more easily for an increase in passenger numbers. And inside the building itself, we're able to move things around. So if check-in processes change, as they have and they will, we're able to adapt to that, and for security screening processes, we can do exactly the same thing.
Why was it important that you came here to share your experiences?
Well, you know, we don't believe that we have the answers to everything, far from it. And what's really, really good is to sit down in front of your peers and talk about what you've done and how you've done it, and get their feedback. I mean, you're not here simply for people to throw roses at you and say you've done a great job. Far from it. What you actually want people to be is constructive in their criticism, to talk about things that they're doing that are new. And of course, there's people from all over the world here. So this is a very international event, and we're listening to people in America, we're listening to people in Europe, we're listening to people in Asia, the Middle East, etc. And we're learning new things all the time, and that's what's really great about being able to share our experiences and get the feedback.
And there are people that are involved in the decisions, the very heart of the experiences that you've been having, that may well be able to, as you say, tell you things, and you share that.
Yeah, there's a very broad range of people here, from the guys on the ground who actually do the job every day, to people like myself who pretend to do the job every day. So from the chief executive all the way down, you've got different people here, and then you've got the suppliers, you've got the engineering construction companies, you've got the designers. We all have one thing in common: we want to do the right thing, and we want to do it as well as we can, and we're all sharing those ideas, which is great.